Hey, I'm Sharon Dawn, and welcome back to Living with Cancer. So I have triple positive HER2 cancer, and that's metastasized through my bones. And today I want to talk about just going for radiation. And the reason I want to talk about it and the other things is because when I got diagnosed, I went looking obviously on Google to find out what all this new world meant to me, and I found very little information there on what seemed real. There was a lot of clinical stuff, and there's a lot of really good advice out there, but I just felt there was nothing much that really sort of put a real spin on it, on how I could sort of make my decisions or just work things out or just what it all meant. So hopefully we'll be able to do something like that with these videos. Anyway, today, radiation. So August last year, 2022, I had to have radiation on one of the vertebrae in my back, in the middle of my back, because it was basically falling apart, and they were really concerned that it wasn't going to hold my spine and I'd be in a wheelchair very shortly, like weeks compared with months. So it was sort of all go on all fronts of how to keep me out of a wheelchair. And I was very lucky. The oncologist I'd decided to go with at Warragul at West Gibson Hospital, which is where I'd been booked into hospital. She also works at Traralgon at Latrobe Valley Hospital, and that's about 3/4 of an hour away, and I live in between the two. So real bonus for me. They just juggled me between the hospitals on where they could fit me in appointments and get me in to the radiation department. Latrobe, I was very lucky. They're more state-of-the-art over there. And so I got sent over there, and what they do is they look at your CT scan and then your PET scan and work out where they think they can help with the radiation. And what they have to determine, from my understanding, is that it's very targeted, so they've got to get it to one point. And so they want to make sure that that point that they're targeting is going to be beneficial to you, but also not do a lot of damage to you as well. And that is the side effect of it, the radiation, is it does burn other things. So for me, I had 5 days straight with the radiation, but the week prior to that, I had to have another MRI to make sure we had all the spots covered, to know if they were helping me in the right way. Then I had to go back in and sort of get my arms up over my head and these pillows supporting and so forth. And they do what's called mapping, so they work out exactly how they're going to laser it in, and with all the dots of everything. And so that when I rocked up on the Monday, they put me back into that position with the support, and they give you the blast of radiation. And the first day was about an hour, and then the next 4 days was only about half an hour each time. And so you just get into the position, they leave you to it, and obviously get out of the room because it's radiation, and give you the blast, and off you go. After I'd had my third, the next morning I walked down to my doctor's to get a script, and I got very short of breath, and my doctor got really concerned. He sent me to hospital, and that was when we discovered, after lots of tests and so forth, that I had the burning on the lungs, and looks like I've got a couple of lesions there as well, which is a bit of a pity. But so the burning on the lungs has made my breathing more difficult. However, over the last, so that would be 6 months ago now, that's got better. So it has eased off, just like where I've been burnt in my back and my nipple and so forth. It's eased off. It's still there, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So that's a plus. And I'm not in a wheelchair still, and we're 6 months later, so that's a real plus. Because for me, if I end up in a wheelchair, I don't know if you know, but my son's in a wheelchair, so I've got a fairly good idea what it's like. to that degree. But for him, he's got upper body strength. He can move himself around. Whereas for myself, because I'm losing all these bones in my ribs and everything, I lost all my strength in my arms. I can't do much. So that makes it a lot trickier. If I end up in a wheelchair, I'll be a lot more, what's the word for it? I won't have as much freedom. So I'll be a lot more restricted to that wheelchair. Basically, that's radiation in a nutshell. I found every day that I went, I had different people. So it's sort of quite lonely, especially I was going through it, in the COVID time, and so my husband couldn't come in or so forth with me as much. They were pretty good most of the time, letting them in different areas, but there's times when you're just there waiting. You're undressed, you're ready, you're waiting, you're there on your own, and it's just they're the moments you got to watch out for, because those sneaky little suckers get in there and start making you feel a bit miserable about where you're at. So be on the guard for them. Don't let them in, because things go downhill after that, and you don't need any more crap. You've got enough crap going on in your life. Don't make it harder by starting to feel lonely and unhappy and so forth, because the journey's hard enough. So with that, take care, put yourself first always, and also I'd like to say, be happy with your decisions that you make. So, like, for example, I didn't want chemo or radiation. I never wanted that. When I finally chose to do it, I chose to do it. So I don't beat myself up about it. Whatever happens from that point on is what happens. There's no regrets. There's no looking back. There's no, I wish I'd done that, or I should have done that. Can't think like that. That will just do you in, and you need all your strength to stay positive and stay happy and stay well. So, put your energy where you need it, and look after yourself and be kind to yourself. All right, I'll catch you next time.